Arica, you said we were talking off camera. You're newer to small groups.
Yeah.
And I would just like to hear a little bit about your experience so far. How'd you get involved, and a little bit about what your group is like.
For sure. So my fiance and I joined St. Paul's earlier this year, and we were personally then invited to join someone's small group. It was a very intimate group. There's myself and 3 other couples. And there's also a large generational gap, which has been very interesting between my fiance and myself and the other couples. But they invited us, and we were honored that, they picked us out of, because we were new to the church. I'm new to the staff. And so we've been in it, and we meet once a month. And yeah.
What's a typical gathering like for you guys as a small group?
So we gather at each other's homes. We take turns, and we take a lesson from the Bible, and then we study that lesson. And it's just very intimate. It's casual. It's very fun. Where the first 30 minutes we joke that we're just laughing and talking about nothing the first 30 minutes of every session. But then we dive into God's Word, and we really can connect on a deeper level that way. But it's a very casual, fun time that we have together.
Food too, from time to time?
Yes, we have desserts afterwards. Whoever is hosting, they are in charge of coffee and desserts. So that's what we get to look forward to after the end of our 1.5, 2-hour meeting.
Okay, that's great. So that's what a typical event is for you guys. Just out of curiosity, are you studying specific parts of the Bible, a book, using the group work? What so far have you guys used to kind of be in God's Word together?
So since Alex and I have started earlier this year, we've been studying the life of David. And so we've been going through his life and his stories. And now I believe, are starting Ephesians next month. So it just depends on, we pick a core person from the Bible or a core story, and then we kind of go off of that.
So far for you, what has been a blessing? What are some of the I didn't know this was going to be this good. So what was this good for you?
What was really surprising to me is that when someone else actually pointed it out to me, Alex and I being newbies to the group, we didn't even realize it, is that one of the other gentlemen in our group came up to us afterwards and said how just us being there is impacting the other members of the group in the best, most positive way possible. That their eyes are being opened to things that they don't talk about, or they don't realize, or they don't see. But the same goes for Alex and I, is that our eyes are being opened to things that we never even knew before, especially being new to the church world, learning from seasoned, experienced worshipers has been amazing. And that generational gap, I think, has a lot to do with that. We know things that we know about, but then they have 10 times more experience in life than we do.
I kind of go a little bit further with that idea. Why do you think that these groups matter? Both I think in an individual, but also why do they matter for the church?
Mm-hmm. I think it goes back to we're learning things that maybe we would not have learned or opened our minds to otherwise. If we didn't join this small group, if we weren't welcomed into this small group, we wouldn't have these relationships with these core people that we have. And because we have these growing relationships with these people, they're introducing us to other people in the church, physically in the church. And so it's just kind of this continuous growth of friendship and learning from one another, which has been amazing for us the last 6 months.
I love that. That's a great way. And a growth of friendship
Absolutely.
Is one of the things that comes out of a small group. You mentioned there's a generational gap, and you mentioned just how valuable actually it is on both ends. I love the intergenerational play. It's just so vitally important. But I would love for you to speak to the young adults in our congregation who are in your space. Life is busy. Why should they take the time out of their schedules and actually make a commitment to being a part of community this way? Why does it matter for a young person?
Yeah, especially for a young person. I can't speak for all of us, but I can speak for myself that there are a lot of things that I'm in my late 20s, but that I haven't experienced yet. There are life lessons that I have yet to learn. And so when I am diving into these groups and these topics of conversation, it is, again, just going back to opening my mind as a young person to things that I otherwise wouldn't know or have never experienced. So it's just a very good learning experience, and again, a way to build friendships with those who, as a young person, if I'm not comfortable, kind of putting myself out there, this has really been a good tool for me to do that.
I think you said something else too that maybe you can speak to it. I'll start and correct me if I'm wrong, but the value you bring, what's the value that a young person brings to a small group?
I would say the value that a young person brings to a small group is opening minds. In the church world, there can be a lot of closed-mindedness. We've always done it this way, we think this way, we do things this way. But when you bring in a younger generational person, our world is completely different than those other generations. And so then we have a chance to kind of let them know what life is like for us. Yeah. And then they have a chance to let us know what life has been for them the past how many years. And that's really cool to see.
I'll ask you this one. What is your favorite thing about small group?
The bonding and that relationship building. Feeling connected to somebody on a personal level that I may not have felt if I didn't join this small group. I see people in church every Sunday and we say hi and do the small talk, but us being in this small group with our core people, it's really giving us a chance to connect on a deeper level, which is just, Alex and I leave our small group, once a month we drive home and we're just kind of just in a joyful mood because of the feelings, the positive feelings those bring out.
That's awesome. Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you.